Good morning or good afternoon, whatever time it is for you. I am on one today. I don't really know why. Maybe it's because I had a latte like a few hours ago. So I'm still riding that high from that, which I'm personally not complaining about. Let me take you a little bit through my day this morning. And that's kind of what sparked this podcast episode idea. Okay, so I woke up at 7 a.m. Actually, I woke up at 6:30 a.m. and I snoozed the alarm, and then I woke up at 7 a.m. And I got ready for the day, and then I I got ready for the day. I put on some really cute, comfy brown pants and also a green sweater. It was giving fall. It was giving Gilmore Girls, Rory's outfit. Okay, and I did that. I packed up my purse with my hefty little notebook and my pen and my dreams. And I went to my favorite garden in the city that I live in. I don't really want to say because it would make it really obvious where I live, and I just don't really feel like getting kidnapped today or in the near future. So I kind of avoid that. Anyways, and I was like, I have a lot of things to think about. I have a lot of things that I need to figure out. And I'm just going to go to the garden and think. What better way? Of course. It can't get any better than that. So that's what I did. I went to the garden. I sat down by this really big water feature that is at this garden that always just has brought me so much peace because I love listening to waterfalls. It's very therapeutic. You should try it if you're anxious like me. Sorry, I'm talking so weird right now. Anyways, and I sat down with this notebook that I have, okay? This notebook that honestly I feel like has changed my life because I just write in it. So I started out by drawing a little bit. You're probably wondering, why are you talking about all of this? And I feel like it is kind of relevant. Okay, so that's why I'm talking about it. And also I want to make this story more interesting. Okay. I started out by drawing me at the airport. Okay. Me at the airport choosing which gate to go to. And the gates are actually schools, not actual gates, but the schools that I want to go to. Well, the drawing ended up being really bad, so I gave up on that. And but while I was drawing, I was just having so many thoughts in my head that I was like, I need to get these out. So then I was like, let me do my morning pages real quick. And if you don't know what morning pages are, I'm doing this program from this book called The Artist's Way. I highly recommend it for all of you creative people to read that and do morning pages every day. I absolutely love doing my morning pages. I don't care if I have to wake up 30 minutes earlier than my alarm. I will do them. Except for this morning, I snoozed my alarm because I woke up at 6:30 to do my morning pages. But then I was like, no, nar. But I did them anyways at the freaking garden. Anyways, so I started writing and writing and writing. I did my 3 pages. And then, so I was at the garden for 2 hours, okay? So this is all happening over the course of 2 hours. All of this thinking, all of this processing. And I was just sitting there, just staring at the koi fish. How amazing is that? I was staring at the koi fish swimming around. And I was like, oh my God. And then I had the most groundbreaking thought that I've had in a while. I don't have these all the time. I don't have these earth-shattering thoughts all the time. So when they come, I really grab onto them, okay? So this started because I was thinking about a specific person in my life that I was thinking about our relationship, my relationship to this person. and the interactions I've had with this person. And I would say who the person is, but like I low-key, that might be kind of bad. I don't really know. But if any of my friends ask, like, I'll tell you. But I just don't know if I should say it right now. Just in case they listen to this, like, you never know. But and it's not like I'm gonna talk bad about them, but I'm just saying. Okay, anyways, sorry. So yeah, I was thinking about this, and then I was kind of like thinking about all the relationships in my life, and then you know, stuff like that. That's just kind of what you do. You just think about your whole life. Like, that's just a casual Tuesday for me. And so then this thought came into my mind, and I wrote it down, word for word. OMG, I've perfected being the person everyone wants me to be. I've perfected that. Like, I've literally, there's not a lot of things that I have become perfected at because I'm only 23 years old, and like, I'm still learning wisdom and advice, and I'm still learning things. But when it comes to being a person that I think another person wants me to be, I have nailed this on point. Nailed this on the dot. Nailed this on the head. I don't know what the phrase is for that, but you get the gist. And like, that's not a good thing. I'm not saying like, this is amazing, guys. Totally like hop on this trend. Like, do it right now. No. This is bad. This has been bad for me because I'm not being authentic to myself. And so this thought came because I was like, I'm never authentically myself around this person. And I was like, I can bet that if like I show up one day and I'm just completely myself, which would be kind of different for them, I would be showing up as a different person to them because I've been trying to be someone else who I'm really not, because I think that that's who they want me to be. Then they would be like, what? And they would their energy would shift, kind of maybe in a negative way. Who knows? Anyways, that thought just got me thinking about, and I've had this like internal thought process before about how like I show up to other people, and like how I'm not always authentic because I don't want to be rejected or disliked. So throughout my whole life, I've learned kind of how people want me to be and stuck to that so that I live the safe life. Okay? And the safe life isn't fun, babe. I'm here to tell you right now. The safe life is not fun. And don't do it. Don't fall for it. People always be like, you know, like, don't shine too bright, or like, you know, you gotta be humble. And there's like, at least that's kind of what I learned growing up, to not always be, you know, I'm making a gesture if you're listening to this, but like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, don't always try and like, don't be the star ultimately. Anyways, so yeah, I have perfected, I can guarantee that like when I meet someone, and say that I'm like in a lab and I'm being observed, unbeknownst to me, like I'm being observed by a laboratory team, by scientists, that's what they're called. And they say, okay, let's put Kira in this little fake world and make her meet people and see how her personality changes based on each person. Is this bad? Maybe I should get diagnosed for that. Maybe I should not be talking about this right now, but Too late. And let's see how she interacts with them and everything. I can guarantee that I will start meeting people, making connections, talking with them, and seeing what kind of person I should be around them. And then I would do that. Like, I would probably have multiple different ways that I show up. And like, I feel like that's not bad to just, you're different. For example, like, you're going to act differently with your best friend compared to like your boss, or like, you're not going to, you're obviously going to talk about different things and like, be more responsible around your boss. Stuff like that. But I think that with me, it's like a little bit deeper than that, I think, perhaps. Anyways. So yeah, like I've said, I've thought about this many times, and I actually was talking about this conversation with someone, who like, he really shifted my perspective on it. He explained it in two different ways, okay? Because we've talked about this a couple of times, because it's something that I'm trying to learn. Because, yeah, I'm trying to learn how to live my life, ultimately, the correct way. And we were talking about this, and he was like, let's say that you have a house, right? You have a house, and this is all like metaphorical. You have a house, and there's people knocking on your door, but you're not home to open the door and let them in. Like, the right people are knocking at your door, but you're not home because you're out talking to Becky down the street, doing like completely not around your type of people, because you're not like fully being yourself. Does that make sense? Like, you're not fully being yourself, so the right people can't find you. And I think about that all the time, of how like, even with like how I present myself, how I make videos, how the types of things that I choose to talk about with people, the thoughts that I choose to share, all of these things, if I do it from an authentic place, the right people will find me. And the people that don't like what I'm saying, or like the things I choose to do, or my energy, those people go away eventually. But right now, they're kind of like, like, why are you being like that? I don't like you. Or like, I don't like this aspect of you. And it's like, yeah, whatever, get out of the way so that the right people can come and knock on my freaking door. Does this even make sense? I kind of hope it does. And well, I think it'll make sense to the people who needed to hear this. It'll make sense to literally like the right audience. Yeah. And like, even when it comes to, this is an example that I think about when I think about this entire topic, is, let's say I am out with friends and I meet a few new people, and I could play it safe and be like, let's have some small talk, boring small talk, and to play it safe, because I don't want to say anything weird, quotation marks, weird. I don't want to say anything that they would think is weird, or like weird, or, I don't know. And, or I could just show up as myself, who I really am, which is, I'm someone who, I like to have deep conversations. I get really bored with small talk. Like, tell me your deepest, darkest, or like, tell me your deepest dreams, or tell me your goals. Like, these are the types of conversations I enjoy having. So it's like, okay, there's two ways that I could go. And what I'm learning and actively practicing, is just to show up as myself and say the things that I think, do the things that I want to do. And if they don't like it, that's not my problem. They can just go along their merry way, and I'll go along my merry way. And I think that this approach has been really helping me with social anxiety, which is crazy because I'm not like going to an event thinking like, oh my God, like how am I going to show up so that people will like me? Like subconsciously I'm thinking this, like, how am I not going to get rejected? How am I going to make sure that I'm safe? And like, because like obviously, of course, humans don't want to be rejected by other humans. We want connection and we don't want to be disliked from other humans. I feel like that's very normal to a certain point. Like it's in our biology, I guess. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Dang, maybe that should be my slogan, is like, don't quote me on that, because I always say that in my podcasts. Anyways, and what was I even saying? See, this is bad. That's why I can't go off of my tangents, because if I don't just stick with it, then I lose it. Anyways, so, oh yeah, and it's just like, like, okay, I don't care if you think that I'm weird. I don't care if like I meet someone and maybe I say something like that comes to my mind that might be weird. I don't know, like I'm trying to think of a thought right now that I would have in public. I don't know. And I don't care if like Becky hears me say that and then it goes over to my friend and is like, can you believe that Kira just said that? And then my friend is like, what do you mean? Like, that's normal for her to say that. Like who cares at the end of the day? Because the right people will show up that want to see me or hear me or like those types of things. Another thing that this person said, that when I was talking about this with him, he was like you have to get to a point where you're in a room. Let's say you're in a room full of people and you're just talking about something maybe you're passionate about, and everyone just like gets up and they're just kind of leaving one by one, and they're kind of like, this is boring, this is stupid. And you're just still talking about what you're passionate about because you're genuinely passionate about it and you don't really care if other people are listening or not. And it's like getting to that point of being okay with that. Like that's obviously just an example, but it's like not caring how someone reacts to what you say, for example. Like I tend to do that a lot, where I really read people's body language during conversations. And like, let's say I'm talking and then they're kind of like looking around the room, and I'm like, oh, okay, like they're ready to move on, like they're done listening to me, I'm just gonna wrap this up and I'm just gonna like stop talking. But then it's like, yeah, like I tend to do that. But yeah, just not being scared of those types of reactions, or even if you receive judgment from someone, being like okay with yourself and what you want to talk about and what you want to share, that you're like, you know what, that person didn't like it, that's not my problem, and I'm not going to get upset about it because you know what you love, like you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say that you're obsessed with aliens and that's like the only thing that you want to talk about. And let's say that you go into a room and you're talking to people and you're like, yeah, guys, like I think aliens are real. Aliens are so cool. And I would love to meet an alien one day. And everyone's kind of like, what is this girl talking about? Like, let's get out of here. This girl's crazy. And that person talking about aliens is like, I don't care what you guys think because I love talking about aliens. Or like singing a song. Maybe someone's singing a song and they just love singing it. Maybe they don't sound that good, so people don't really listen. But maybe there's a specific audience that comes in and they're like, whoa, like this girl, she's singing. She really inspires me to sing. I'm going to keep listening to her because like she's really inspiring because she's not the best, and you know, like that person's not the best singer. You know what I'm saying? Like your specific audience will find you. This is the thought that came to me when I was in the garden, and I wrote it down, and I wrote like just not caring about what people think or how they might react. Sometimes it gets to the point where my brain even assumes how they're going to react before they even react. And 10 out of 10 amounts of times, I get it wrong. Because I'm not a mind reader. Of course I'm not a mind reader. And it's like, sometimes I'll be like, their body language will be kind of looking around, and then I'm like, okay, like I'll stop talking now. They're bored. They don't want to listen to me anymore. But then they ask me a question back about the same conversation, and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, oh, okay. They actually do want to keep listening. You know what I mean? So it's like, you can't even predict how people are going to react or what they think or how they're going to perceive you. And their perception of you can change day by day too. Like, so and then I wrote down the question is like, what is scary about judgment and rejection to me? Like, what is scary about that? And that's a good question that after I wrote down that question, I didn't have an answer yet, but I think one day I will have an answer to that question, but for right now I don't. But I think that having that question just like pop into my brain, it really made me, first of all, put into perspective how much I haven't been authentic around other people. It does feel really good to just be your authentic self. And then like that initial thought comes up of like, oh my God, they're perceiving me, or they're probably thinking I'm weird right now. But then you're just kind of like, actually, no, it's fine. And it just feels so freeing. I don't know how to explain it. Like, just like being your playful, like silly self or whatever around someone who you've always tried to filter yourself around is very freeing. And I say that from experience. I do. I say that from experience, and yeah. I have been like asking more people questions that I'm actually interested in, not just like, you know, small talk, safe, quote unquote, safe questions. Instead, like, what's your biggest dream? Tell me about it. Or like, what do you love so much about your passion? Tell me about it. Like, these are the conversations I want to be having with people. I do not want to hear about basic level stuff. Well, I do for like 5 minutes, but then let's get into the deep stuff. Okay? So, yeah, this is the podcast for today. Okay? I don't know what it is, but it's just an epiphany I had in a garden. A life-changing moment. And I hope that maybe this sparked some sort of interest in you. I don't know. But be yourself, because literally it doesn't, not being yourself and playing it safe is worse. It is. You don't feel safer. Maybe in the moment, but in the long run, I think it's worse. Honestly. So take that for what it's worth. And I don't know, maybe this week try and ask a stranger a question that you genuinely want to know. Be like, hey, do you do art? Tell me about the art that you make. Or like, hey, have you ever seen an alien? Or have you seen a ghost before? Like, let's get into these deep conversations. Come on, people. Okay, anyways. Bye.